Hi Aries, welcome to your May 2020 Tarot and Astrology. This reading is a little bit late, so it's going to focus mostly on the mid-month points. And it's really going to be leaning towards all the Gemini energy, the retrogrades, the Venus retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde. God, there's a lot. To start this off, I'm going to roll my astrological dice. It's got the planets on it, it's got the houses on it, and it's got the signs on it. So something may come out of significance for the sign of Aries. Oh, we have Mars. Mars moves into Pisces. Pisces is the 12th house. We have the 12th house, and we have Aquarius. Interesting energies. So Mars is shifting from Aquarius to Pisces. So I feel like that's very, very significant for you. Of course, it's all leading up to Mars, your ruler, moving into your sign, and there will be retrograde motion there. So it's going to be a very interesting later half of the year for you, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, with Mars being in Pisces, your 12th house, there's going to be a lot of energy put into your spiritual development. When you're putting the energy of Mars in your sign into your subconscious, you're doing a lot of inner work, you're doing a lot of dream analysis if that's your thing, a lot of astrology thinking, a lot of tarot thinking, all the things that can really get you in touch with who you are on the inside. One of the things for your sign that's quite interesting is that you rarely take too much time for introspection. You're more of a doer. You do things, you go for things, you put your energy into advancing. Five of Swords. And you're looking inward now to do some healing, some inner work. Possibly putting a lot of your focus into forgiveness. Particularly if there was someone in your past who really, really hurt you. Really deceived you, really used you. False flattery. Leaving you high and dry, that kind of thing. The Five of Swords is usually that. And it's coming up with something that's in your past that I think for a lot of you need to heal. And for a lot of Aries, actually, the pain of the past is really hurting your communication. Venus goes retrograde in your communication sector on the 13th. And for a lot of you, this can make the way that you communicate, it's happening already. Communicate, it can make you very confusing to other people because inwardly, you're not entirely sure what you want to say. And it's not that you don't know what you mean because you always know what you mean. It's that you don't know how to articulate it. Or you have a bit of fear of what comes after that. You're a bit afraid of what you say having an unusual response. And that's, again, not typically an Aries thing. You guys are very good at being straightforward. But with Venus retrograde in your communication sector, you may find yourself a bit tongue-tied. 10 of Wands. And it is because the past has a very painful burden for you that you just don't know how to overcome it sometimes. For a lot of you, it is being put in a caretaker role as a child or a teenager. For a lot of you, it's having had relationships where you have done a lot of work only to be shortchanged. And this isn't focusing about doing work for other people. Mars in the 12th house is focusing on doing that inner work for yourself. The 12th house is very heavily associated with forgiveness. And as a sign that is the newborn of the zodiac, you're very good at it. You're very good at moving forward from other people's bad moves. You're very good at just getting on with things. Forgiveness is actually a little bit different. And it's not something that any of the signs really understand until they get to Pisces. There's different ways of moving on from the past, but forgiveness is different. And Mars in the 12th is going to ask you to forgive yourself for choosing to let somebody do something, for ignoring something, for going forward with something when you knew it wasn't right for you. And forgiving yourself for the things that you did that you really wish you hadn't. Temperance and the Five of Pentacles suggests that in Taurus season, when it comes to your self-worth and it comes to your money, there are a few things you need to work on. There's a few kinks you need to iron out in terms of the way you value yourself. For a lot of you, you have been in relationships here because Venus is going retrograde in your communication sector. This is why it's important. There have been relationships where you've done a lot of work and you've come to things the way that you do as an Aries with an open heart, an open mind, and a take as I find kind of mentality. And somewhere along the lines, for every Aries, that gets bruised, that gets hurt, that gets cheated. And you're working on healing that at the minute. Especially if you were dealing with a Sagittarius in the past. But Mars, your ruler in your sector of healing, very clearly, and you could have been dealing with an Aquarius, but very clearly wants you to heal some things that make you feel a little bit like you don't know how to put yourself out there, or you don't know how to articulate what it is that you want, or you're not quite sure how to say what you need to say or verbalize it. All the energy, especially with Mercury and the Sun and the new moon all moving into your communication sector, they're going to work on that for you. Straight off the bat, Mercury in your communication sector is going to be very helpful in overcoming those problems. And for a lot of you with Temperance and the Five of Pentacles, there is a strong fear of being vulnerable, particularly as far as love goes. Woo-wee. Okay, yeah. 2 of Wands, King of Swords, the Sun, the 10 of Swords, and the 6 of Cups. There's a lot of healing energy going on for you. There's a lot of refiguring your inner code, the things that you live by, the way that you view things. And in particular, Aries, the way that you view other people and their approach. That's all coming to a head. And what I mean by that is the new moon in Gemini on the 22nd is going to show you where you can shine a light on the things that are really affecting your decision-making process, affecting the way that you verbalize your needs, verbalize your wants, things that are holding you back from moving forward. And the ironic thing is, Aries, you move forward so much in day-to-day life that the quarantine, the lockdown is really giving you a point of focus to work with the astrology of the time. It's giving you a point to look inward and see why you're doing certain things, why you're saying certain things. Because with Venus retrograde in your communication sector, you may confuse yourself. You'll definitely confuse other people. But with the Sun and the 6 of Cups cushioning that 10 of Swords, people want to help you heal. People want to give you warmth. People want to give you love. People want to give you good feelings. People want to help you work through this stuff. With the King of Swords, for a lot of you, as you embark into new partnerships or in current relationship dynamics, you're coming across potentially as quite cold, as quite analytical, as quite detached, as quite like you've really got your emotions in check. Inwardly, you may not be feeling that. And if you are feeling that way, there is a little bit of thawing to be done as the Sun shifts into Gemini and puts the focus right back on the way that you verbalize it. So in the meantime, with Taurus season, the energies are all very clear on how you value yourself and what you value in a partner, what you value in a job, what you value in a lifestyle. The things that are going on around you, do you feel that you are running parallel with them? Do you feel compatible with them? You work somewhere, do you feel compatible with the ethos, with the people, with the decisions? Or are they ethically not in alignment with who you're trying to be? And do they make you feel valued or not? Because where you do not feel valued, Aries, you're asking to look at why you're choosing to stay. The Sun and the 10 of Swords means that the truth can burn. It's something that intrinsically as a fire sign you're very aware of. The truth can burn people. It can burn yourself. The sun is a source of life, but if you got too close to it, it would burn you. Maybe the things that are keeping you going at the minute, be it your job, be it your relationships, are putting some sort of fear that if you got too close to the goal that you wanted, the job that you wanted, the lifestyle that you wanted, or the person that you wanted, you fear that you would get burned. But I wouldn't worry. Six of Cups suggests for a lot of Aries there is some kind of connection, be it love, be it friendship, be it family, that feels very healing to you. And if there is great pain and strife in a family dynamic, rest assured that as you get through Gemini season, there is a camaraderie, a healing energy, a reconciliation energy in family dynamics. For a lot of you, that Six of Cups could be reuniting with your friends towards the end of May. Maybe quarantine gets lifted, I don't know. But there's some sort of reunion with souls that make you feel happy. And that's all that you want. Now, with the Death card underneath this energy, do not fear, it obviously does not represent death if you're new to the tarot experience. A lot of you are getting past a small-minded energy that is quite simply settling. For the job, for the subpar love, for the attention. For a lot of you, if you're dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, are they giving you what you want? Because if they're not, if they're giving you crumbs, I think you're going to call it out. Venus retrograde wants you to call it out. Any love that is subpar, any love that you feel like you're not getting what you need, goes out with Venus retrograde. Queen of Wands, Death card, Page of Pentacles and Judgment. By Cancer season, a lot of you have very interesting dynamics going on with fellow fire signs, earth signs, or Scorpios. And by that I mean the momentum to move forward comes around, at least in Cancer season. By the end of June, July, there is forward momentum for you. Now, this doesn't have to be with any of those signs. It can, in fact, be in a life-changing move or life-changing decision. But it looks like you're going full steam ahead by Cancer season, so do not worry about delays. Particularly in love, particularly in work. They are all there to serve you and give you a little bit of insight in where maybe Aries, in some cases, your messages are getting a bit mixed. And how do you fix that? You look and see what you're withholding, or what you are concealing, or what you are using smoke and mirrors to keep to yourself because you want to protect yourself. There is this interesting saying about how, and I'm just paraphrasing, I can't give you the exact saying unfortunately, but how you can only find someone that is compatible with you truly if you present who you completely are, authentically. You know, there is so much online about how people need to approach romance and putting your best face forward and appearing to have everything together and be an emotionally stable person, and everyone should be striving for that on their own terms, authentically. You should be striving to be that kind of person authentically, not trying to convey it when maybe you're in a funny place. You know, you should be that person, but that person that has their emotions together, that has everything, you know, they're working through stuff, they're working on themselves, will not be afraid to present who they really are because they'll accept it anyway. And if anyone doesn't accept you as you are, they're not for you. But if you want a plot twist to the story where you feel at some point in May that you are inadequate or you're feeling that you're not enough, there's most likely somebody who disagrees with that. I would say at least 6 people that very strongly disagree with that, Aries. So we are going to get into the extended. It'll be listed below. I will see you there. Love you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next set of readings. Bye, Aries.